So Loretta, did you have something pop up on your screen?
Yes, it says this meeting is being recorded by host of a participant. And then I can't read the rest without glasses.
Does she need to click on that?
Got it is what she needs to click on. Scott is what come up on my
Yeah.
screen.
What do I click on?
Got it.
Got it. She may not be able to see it. She doesn't have her glasses on. Okay,
It
so
says, yeah, got it. Do I point this toward it?
point it
Yes.
towards it and then click on the left button.
Okay,
And then it'll go away.
I hope. Did push it, but it didn't go away.
You got to have the pointer right on top of it.
Right on top of what?
The got it.
Got it.
Oh,
See the little box there?
oh, I see. I gotta have the red on it.
Yeah, whatever it is. If you
Well,
have
it
to,
still
Loretta,
didn't go away. I think I might
Okay.
have to have her come.
okay, you have her go get it.
Okay.
All right.
Maybe that clicker's different.
So Loretta's actually an extension services because she doesn't have internet at her home. She doesn't have a computer.
Oh,
Do you
So-
think somebody could click this thing for me to get this off because they're recording it and I don't know how, I pushed the button, but I don't know. You know, I don't need.
Good morning, Linda.
Well, he said I needed to click the left button.
Just got it. It's
off of
just,
there.
she just needs to click the got it button where it says it's in recording in progress. Is it still there, Loretta? Okay, you got it. You might unmute her now too. You might unmute her because she doesn't know how to do that. Can you get her to unmute you? Okay, thank
Do
you.
you want her unmuted or muted?
Unmuted is fine. As long as I can keep, as long as she doesn't talk, we'll be fine. Well, I mean, during the presentation, so.
I'm okay with it not being, I don't know whether I'd have questions or not.
Well,
And-
you're fine, Loretta. Just,
Okay.
okay.
Okay,
We'll be absolutely fine.
okay.
Okay. Oh, somebody's got their phone on. Who would that be?
Sorry.
I know.
Well, I gotta push this one off.
Yeah. You won't be the first one that happens to. Good morning, Kay.
Good morning. I have a repairman coming to fix my washing machine. He's supposed to be here at 10 o'clock. He said what he called. So
Okay.
I'm kind of in and out, so. if
All
I
right. All
have to
right.
Here. And I hope my husband could answer the door, but
All right.
doesn't sound like it.
Okay. And I'm probably going to call you. I'm going to try to call you today and give you a little report on our post-conference board meeting.
Excellent, thank you. I don't know if I have to take him to the wound clinic today or not, or if he can go by himself. A lot depends on Gary, the repairman, this morning, how long it takes him, I guess. And if Lloyd thinks he can drive over there by himself. I'm gonna have to go hook up my oxygen, sorry.
Boy, everybody's sure quiet today.
Well, I'm anxious to hear about Malaysia.
Okay. And here we have Lorraine coming in. I always hate to start a little too early, but and by the way, when I get done, I will, I am recording it and then I'll put it on YouTube. And by the way, you can go on our website, Oregon dash, not a space, but a dash, FCE.org, and all of the lessons that we've done, including yours, Lavonda, is on there. And they're actually on YouTube. So they're a lot easier to watch that way than trying to pick up the links and so forth.
I'm doing mines this Saturday.
Yeah, I see that. I got a link. I think I got a Zoom link for it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if I'm reffing volleyball right then or not.
Scott, would you re-say, or would you tell me that website again? Oregon dash.
Yeah, it's www.oregon-fce.org.
Oregon or org?
Oregon, it was .org, D-O-O-R-G. It's Oregon-fce.org. I'll type it out on the chat.
Thank you.
Scott, are you home?
Yeah, we got home last night.
No snow on your way home, huh?
No, there's no snow on our way home. We're going up to Crater Lake today. We're taking Martha Crawford.
Okay. Well, they were talking about possible snow last night in some of the upper highways, and we're cautioning people to be careful. So I kind of wondered if you guys had had any.
No, we deal with snow all the time.
Yeah. You
So I
did.
sent that out on that chat, that website. And it has them all on there, and I'll put them on there. And then the national conference is actually on the national website.
That was great. It was so nice to be able to attend.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. And so I'd just like to welcome everybody. I'm sure we'll probably have some others pop in there. I don't think too many of the Oregon ones are going to be on because they saw it yesterday. Most of the ones that usually come on there, they're going to be, they saw it yesterday. I actually gave it at our state conference yesterday. So I know the artist is not back, but she'll get fine there. Today's presentations are going to be on Malaysia. And that was one of the lessons that we chose. We chose it because that is where the Triennial is going to be held in 2022, I think.
Well, they're going to do it again. Okay.
Anyway, so.
It's 23.
23. Okay, yeah, well, anyway, it's supposed to be 2022 and then it's been changed. And if you're not keeping up on it, Bonnie keeps up on it quite a bit. And right now, Malaysia is a country you cannot go in. Because of the COVID, they're just not letting people go in. So anyway, they were supposed to have been in 2022 and they have changed a little bit there. So this presentation it was done, Bonnie and I developed it, and I did most of the work, but she did a lot of the proofing and editing and suggestions and so forth. So we're going to talk a little bit about it. And if I'm going to try to give a little pause here and there. And if you got questions or comments, please just kind of jump in there. Can everybody see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. I need to go and make sure that I clicked on the button, so I'm going to go out of it for a second, then go back in. because I got a video on there, and if you don't click the right buttons, then there it goes. Then it takes and. Okay, everybody see the screen, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, perfect. All right. I can see it on my end, but I always want to do it on there.
I was going to mute.
So anyway, so you can see Bonnie's there hard working, and you know what Scott does all the time. Okay, Malaysia. And how many of you know where Malaysia is? Anybody? So we're going to talk about it. And if you look on the map up there, you can see that Malaysia is a country in Southeast Asia. And if you look to the north, you can see Vietnam up there. You can see Thailand. You can see Laos, and lots of different ones there. And by the way, I'm going to give you a disclaimer. I have a hard time, a very difficult time pronouncing many of the names on this. So if you want to help me out, that would be great. If not, then we'll do our best on there. You can see that Malaysia's actually got two parts of it. It's a country that's separated into two different parts. So you can see it there. It says Malaysia is a country in Southeast Asia. The federal constitutional monarchy consists of 13 states and 3 federal territories, separated by the South China Sea into 2 regions. And then it talks about the different ones there. It says Malaysia shares a land and maritime border with Thailand, maritime borders with Singapore, Vietnam, and Indonesia. So you can see kind of its location there. So you can imagine that it's probably a fairly warm, moist climate. It says East Malaysia shares lands and with maritime borders with, is it Brunei? And different, the Philippines and Vietnam. Kuala Lumpur is the nation's capital and the largest city in, while Putrajaya is the seat of the federal government. And by the way, Ann Ingen, who's one of our members in Oregon FCE, she said that I should have something on that is Malaysia. So today I'm dressed like those in Malaysia, because most of them dress like we do. It says with a population of over 30 million, Malaysia is the world's 44th most populous country. The southmost point of a continental Eurasia is Tanjung Priok in the tropics. Malaysia is one of 17 mega diverse countries, home to a number of endemic species. Some facts about Malaysia. Population is 31.95 million, and that was in 2019. Fertility rate, as you can see, is 2.0 births per woman. The gross national income per capita is 28,830, and this is in PPP dollars, and I'm not quite sure exactly how that works with the US dollar. Life expectancy is 76 years. Population growth is 1.3%. The official language is Malay. And their king is King Abdul of Pahang. And the next one right here, and she goes by a different name now that she's the queen. And Artist, are you back?
I'm back. I'm
Okay.
sorry I had to leave.
Not a problem. Anyway, her name now is Seri Duka Benjinta, and that's not her name she went by, was it, Artist?
No.
No, well, she has a new name since she's the queen, and she is the ACWW member. She was actually going to run for the area presidency, but when she became the queen, she could not do that and had to withdraw her name. And the Artist was there in Australia. Yeah, when we noticed that there. So, and she's a wonderful woman, and Artist can attest to that too. She's just
Definitely.
like you and me. It's interesting when you meet her though, because she was dressed in the traditional Malaysian clothing with a head covering and so forth. And she had 2 or 3 women there with her, and you could talk to her and get your picture taken with her. And artist, if you remember, she had a little cup.
Yep,
And
we had to donate money.
she had to donate money for pennies for friendship, or penny. Anyway, so she was on there and she was doing that, and it was just wonderful. And she was running, but you also noticed that there was some men around, and they were kind of like her bodyguards. But she's just a person just like you and I in a lot of ways. Okay, some more facts about it. The Malaysian government is a federation of 13 states, and we talked about that a little bit right there. They have under the Westminster parliamentary system, and it's categorized as a representative democracy. Federal government Malaysia adheres to, it's created by its federal constitution of Malaysia, the supreme law of the land. So they do have some freedoms and so forth. The religion, and if you look right there, you can see the religion, and you can see that most of them are Muslim, some Baptist, and then on down through there. And if you look on that, and I thought this was a really interesting one, is it's less than 1% of their people do not have a religion. And I'm sure that in the United States, that's a whole lot different picture on that one there. Kuala Lumpur is the capital of Malaysia. Its modern skyline is dominated by the 451-meter tall Twin Towers. And if you think about how 451 meters, a meter is about 3 feet. So you look at that, so that's going to be about 1,200 feet high. A pair of glass and steel-clad skyscrapers with great monoliths. The tower also offers a public sky bridge and observation deck. It is also home to the British colonial era landmarks, such as the railway station and different various buildings there. Elevation of 217 feet, has a population of 1.8 million, 93 square miles. Main crops in Malaysia: oil, palm, rubber, cocoa, rice have continued to be the major crops grown in the private and public sectors. However, such crops such as coconut, tropical fruits, vegetables, flowers, annual crops, etc., are being grown by the smallholders and the private sector. Since gaining independence in 1957, Malaysia has successfully diversified its economy from one that was initially agricultural and commodity-based to one now that plays host to robust manufacturing and service sectors, which have been propelled the country to becoming leading exports of electrical appliances, parts, and components. And they have a lot of that. Matter of fact, lots of times if you get an electronic device, it may even say either assembled in Malaysia or produced in Malaysia or something like that. Main exports are semiconductors, and we know that right now we're having a hard time getting semiconductors and electronic products, palm oil, liquefied natural gas, petroleum, chemicals, machinery, vehicles, optical and scientific equipment, manufacturers of metal, rubber, wood products. Exports about $263 billion. And welcome to somebody who just came in.
To save this message, press the pound key. To erase this message, press 7. To repeat this message, press 2. To play the message envelope, press 5. For additional message deleted. You have listened to all messages in your mailbox. To listen to your messages, press 1. To change your...
Okay, that's all right. It happens to the best of us. It says, why is Malaysia so rich? It says Malaysia is rich in mineral resources and mining, including petroleum extraction. Accounts for a significant portion of the GDP through its employs only a small fraction of the workforce. Major metal ores are tin, bauxite, which is actually aluminum, and a lot of people don't know that, copper, and iron. Okay, now we're going to kind of get into some of the fun part of it right there. It says traditional clothes of Malaysia. If you notice, they're very bright, very colorful, and so forth. It says the main communities of Malaysia are Malay, Chinese, Indian, and each of these have their own traditional clothes. And so even when we get into the food, you're going to find out that there's lots of combining of those cultures of Malay and Chinese and Indian in all of those. So you can see that, lots like that. And Bonnie and I are planning on going, and I'm sure Artis is, and I hope that others are planning on going there. I will tell you one thing, on the registration for the World Conference, it is an all-inclusive, and it includes everything, including your rooms and all of your meals. It does not obviously include airfare and so forth to get there. But once you get there, you're going to be all taken care of. And then it says most Malaysians dress like Westerners. So whatever you're in, that's what they're going to be wearing today, probably also. It says it is mostly on a special occasions, only the citizens wear the traditional dress of Malaysia. All of the multi-ethnic traditional clothes of Malaysia are multicolored, bespoke of their culture and radiating vibrancy. So there you see some there of a man and a woman. And Malay is the most prominent ethnic group in Malaysia. And if you see the Pakistani as the word for, or Pakian is the word for clothing in the official language. And you can see some of the influences that they probably have from other countries. Men, the traditional attire of Malay men is called and by the way, I apologize, I have jets flying over me there. We live right near air base, and they're practicing today. And they're out, and their clothing is loose, tunic, trousers. I'll just kind of let you read a little bit on your own there. Any comments or questions? And then the women. The
Well, I can't see the man's dress because of our pictures.
Okay, well, I don't.
And that's okay. It's okay. And maybe
Okay.
it'll show up later on.
Okay, well, it'll show up on the recording, but I don't, Loretta, I almost don't dare tell you how to fix that.
No, I won't touch that.
Okay, well, anyway, you'll be able to see some of the other pictures there. I know exactly what problem you're having. Okay. And then here's another picture of the traditional clothing of Malaysia. Some very, very beautiful clothing. The ones on the right there, the young ladies, what country does that remind you of?
China?
Anybody?
China.
Yeah, probably China, maybe Japan, but China or Japan. So you can see the influence there.
China.
Okay.
That's pretty.
Yeah, very, very beautiful clothing of Malaysia. And then, of course, we see the indigenous people of Malaysia. Okay, a little bit on Malaysia's history. And I found this very, very interesting. And we're going to go through this a little bit, and I'll try to move through it a little bit quickly. But they have been taken over by country after country after country. And part of it, and they'll bring that up, is because of their location. This Malaysia's history is said to have started in the Sultan of the Malacca, which was around 1400. Time of its glory, these territories covered most of the east coast of the peninsula of Malaysia. It was a glorious government because of its systematic location, which was the meeting point between East Asia and the Middle East. Lots of trading going on there. Allowed it to emerge as a major trading center for spice trade, especially in the Southeast Asia. Islam was the main religion which emerged and became a main religion of the residents because of the ruler himself had professed the religion. So we're talking about 1400 AD. It says in 1511, Malachi fell into the hands of the Portuguese. That was the beginning of the colonial year of Malaya. So now the Portuguese have taken it over. Malaysia fell into the hands of the Dutch in 1641. And if you remember at one time, the Dutch, even for such a small country, were very aggressive throughout the world in obtaining lands. Malaysia moved from the hands to the British in 1824 through the Anglo-Dutch Treaty. British colonization was the longest compared to the others. So here you got people that are, being changed from control from one country to another. During the 1920s and 1930s, many residents of Malaya had started to receive education, either from the Middle East or local education. As a result, this educated group had appeared to fight in the name of nationalism. For some people, they think that education is dangerous. When the people of this country were eager to end the invasion, they were jolted by the Japanese, landing at the end of 1941, which brought Malaya to other colonial era. And if you remember your history, Japan took over an awful lot of that area. Japan occupied Malaya until 1945 before surrendering as a result of the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Japanese recognition has given space to the Communist Party of Malaya, which is the PKM, to control Malaya. In June 1948, Sir Edward Gent has declared emergency over Malaya. PKM failed in Malaya, and the British returned powerful British military administration between the end of World War II and establishment of the Malayan Union. On April 1st, 1946, the British established the Malayan Union. The emergence of anyway, I'll just let you guys read that one there, has given a silver lining to the struggle of the Malayan nationalist, when his action of forming the Alliance Party had started to open the eyes of the British to allow the Malayans to govern their own country. The unity between the three major ethnic groups, namely Malays, Chinese, and Indians, led to the London Agreement that was signed 8 February 1956, and he had given signs that Malaya will achieve independence on 31 August 1957. Upon returning from London, that gentleman made a declaration of independence of Malaya on 20 February 1956. Now we get in 1956, some of us can remember those days. On 27 May 1961, was suggested that the merger of the five colonies, namely the Malaya, Singapore, Sabah, Sarawak, and Brunei, to form a new country. On 9 July 1963, representatives of the British government, Malay, Sabah, Sarawak, Singapore, except Brunei, caused that the matter cannot be avoided. The desire for forming a state called Malaysia is achieved in 16 September 1963. Okay, any questions or comments at this point? You see lots of times where the different countries have taken over and controlled Malaysia. Flag of Malaysia is known as Malay, composed of a field of 14 alternating red and white stripes. So where else do we see red and white stripes?
White flag.
What's that?
Hawaiian
else?
and United States.
United States, how many do we see on the United States?
13.
13.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a little bit different. And you see the use of the flag adopted in 1950 and for the country. I think it's a very beautiful flag. Okay, the food. And it looks to me like they have an amazing foods, and Bonnie and I can't hardly wait to try some of them. Now, what kind of foods do you think that they have?
Seafood.
Seafood. So you're going to see some sea. What else are you going to see?
They'll probably have a lot of food based with curry and rice and lentils and fresh fruit and vegetables.
Absolutely. And it sounds like Faye came in there. I can't see anybody when I'm presenting here. So anyway, so we're going to see on that right here. And by the way, I'm going to have you guys help me on some names here, and because some of these are really difficult to do. And yesterday when I gave the presentation, I had people in the audience that couldn't pronounce it either. So I didn't feel so bad. It says you're going to go to Malaysia, you're in for a real treat when it comes to food. Malaysia ranks very high for its outstanding tasty food and the mixture of what's available. And they're going to bring it up a little bit later in the presentation, but basically it's fairly inexpensive also. Malaysia is a country of diversity, and the food reflects that. Chinese, Indian, and local Southeast Asia. Malay flavors are the trio blend of ingredients and cooking techniques that have been adopted in Malaysian cuisine. Across the country in the various cities, you'll find authentic Chinese, Indian food exactly as is found in India, and home-cooked Malay specialties. So if we're going to have Indian, what are we probably going to have? What is the
Curry.
spice? What's
Curry.
that? Curry. Yeah, that's curry.
Rice and curry.
Okay. So who's
Nasi lemak.
Thank you. I don't know who that was, but thank you very much. It's probably the national dish of Malaysia, beloved for its all local Malaysians, is a dish known as
Nasi lemak.
lemak. It's something you most definitely must eat. And if you look at it, you can see that it's probably got rice and noodles and probably either fish or some kind of chicken. We'll see right there.
Looks spicy.
Okay, it looks spicy. That's right. Says there are a few varieties of it. Cooked in coconut milk, topped with spicy chili sauce. There's your spicy.
I'm with you, Scott.
What's that?
I'm with you. Trying all these dishes.
Oh, that's right. I'm sure it is. The most basic version is that of a pocket of rice topped with sambal, perhaps a hard-boiled egg on the side, and wrapped in a banana leaf. Okay.
Bakar.
Okay, it means fish, and bakar, it means grilled in.
Bahasi.
Thank you. You're a lot better on these than I am by far. It says so. It's a grilled fish. Basically, it's amazingly marinated grilled fish, spiced up in a blend of chili paste and then grilled over a charcoal on top of a banana leaf. They like their banana leaves. The moist fish is then eaten with a plate of hot rice, sometimes side vegetables, curries, and dipped into kicap
Manis.
for extra flavor.
The tea leaf adds flavor, that's why.
Perfect. Now, I assume they don't eat the banana leaf, though.
No, the banana leaf just adds flavor. That's why when we make lau lau,
Okay.
we wrap it in banana. It's wrapped in banana leaf because it keeps everything in. It's
Okay.
It's delicious.
Great. Okay, and then here's this banana leaf. Now, this is, just as I mentioned before, Indian food plays a major part in the diverse spectrum of the food in Malaysia. And banana leaf is commonly known, its local favorite. And if you look there, it says, you can sit down with a table of banana leaf on as your plate. It doesn't take long before the waiter dishes you a giant scoop of rice and a round of incredibly tasty vegetarian curries. Banana leaf is often served vegetarian, but you can also normally order sides of meat to supplement the vegetable curries you like. No utensils are needed. You just go into your fingers and devour.
That banana leaf will probably act like parchment paper or the aluminum foil hoagies or hobo meals that we have started to use here.
Right, exactly. Okay. All right, what's this in here, Lavonda?
Nasi Kandar.
Okay,
Nasi Kandar.
Nasi Kadar.
Scott, did it mention anything about the etiquette of eating with your hands, with your fingers?
Well, other than just what they did right there, but apparently it is not offensive to do that.
Okay, this is also in Nepal, in India, that they can eat with their fingers, but they will only use their right hand, never the left hand.
Yep, and most of us know why that is, because you use your left hand for other things other than eating. So it says another Indian influenced branch of Malaysia food, and it's, you know, been perfected. That looks really good to me.
Yeah, that looks good.
There's rice. Kandar is a stick or pole used to support the to carry things with. Formerly in the Malaysian villages, the rice and curry was sold for mobile vendors who carried large pots of food using a kandar. And nowadays refers to rice and Indian style curry. And curry is something that I like, but I don't like a lot of it. And I've got it, my oldest son, he thinks that if a little bit's good, a whole lot is a lot better. And I've had food that he's prepared that I just cannot eat. And so you get a plate of rice, and the dish yourself is things like mutton curry, fried chicken, some rotis on the side. Okay, here we go. What's
When
that
you have
one?
curry, curry is a spice, a blend, and every family would be making or going out to the market early in the morning, getting their spices, coming back, roast them, grind them up, and then make their food. And every family, just like when you have chili or some of the other dishes, you have more of one ingredient than another because we like cumin quite a bit. Other people may go with chili powder or oregano or things like that, but it's a blend and you can perfect it to the way you like it.
Right, exactly. Thank you very much. So it means the different types of fried bread depending on where you're at. So this is actually a fried bread. It's a thin piece of dough fried in lots of oil and served with curry dripping sauce. Dough is first stretched out, slapped across the countertop, and then folded into a small square and fried in oil. This gives it a flaky, crispy layers. You break off the roti and dip it into the delicious curry gravy. Okay. This is something that Bonnie would love, and I like this kind of stuff too. It says a great bowl of, is it Laksa?
Laksa and Assam.
Laksa will give you stunned upon first bite. There are two different kinds of Laksa in Malaysia: food curry Laksa and Assam Laksa. Assam Laksa is noodles in a murky brown fish soup, while curry Laksa is noodles swimming in a thick and extremely flavorful coconut milk curry.
Oh, sounds good.
It does. It really sounds good. Many varieties. But when you get down to some soups like that, it just seems like you can add all kinds of different things. And one thing I did notice on this though is you'll see chicken, you'll see some pork, fish of various types, but you'll hardly ever see beef. I didn't see any beef at all when I'm going through this on this research. Okay.
Chakue teu. Oh, tiao.
Okay. Tiao.
Chakue.
Okay. Malaysians absolutely love to eat. And if you really want to relate to make a Malaysian feel at home, start a conversation about kar kulu kuu. Yeah. Tuao.
Tiao.
Okay. That looks really good. It looks to me like it's got some onions in it, some shrimp. And of course it says right there, shrimp, bean sprouts, chives, and often an egg. Says you'll immediately want another order of it.
I've actually had it on one of our cruise ships. Our waiter was from Malaysia and had a restaurant there. He and his sister had a restaurant. And so I had my grandsons with me, and they were actually, the guys were really nice to my grandson, had them play soccer with him. But the kid said that they would like some of the food, and he said, "Oh, I'll make you something that's from our country," and that's what he made. And the boys loved it.
This right here.
Yes.
Yes, it looks really good. Okay.
He made it with chicken.
Yep. And how
He said
about this one
they can make it
here?
with chicken or with shrimp.
How about Lavanda? How about this one?
Oh, Hokkien mee.
Hokkien mee. That sounds like Hokie and me.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another giant in the scene of the Chinese style noodles, Hokkien, and a recipe derived from Fujian province of China. Like nearly all foods in Malaysia, there are quite a few varieties. It has prawn noodles and dark colored fried noodles. I think that looks really good just itself.
I know. Yeah.
Noodles are normally fried in, and boy, our health people are going to get on this one, fried in lard on an extremely high heat and flavored with dark soy sauce. It's absolutely amazing. You know, when I think about lard, because my mother used to do, she used to cook out lard out of the pig grinds and stuff like that. And she also had that traditional pot of bacon oil or bacon grease to the side of the stove, which many of us probably remember when we were growing up.
Yeah.
You could buy lard when I was young,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
I used lard in pie dough and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can still actually buy lard.
And
Not very, you have to go to some specialty stores at times now, but I can remember being everywhere. Okay.
Fred Meyer has it.
Yeah.
Fred Meyer.
Fred Meyer has lard. Yeah. Okay. Lavanda, you got this one?
Oh, nasi kadar.
Nasi kadar.
Yeah, nasi
Okay.
kadar. We've seen this before.
No,
No?
it's not quite exactly the same. Is the Indian version of economy rice. Okay, different dishes. Find it in stalls and so forth like that. I see that fish up there, cooked with the head on and everything.
God.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I've seen people actually eat everything on that head except the bones,
Yeah.
including the
The
eyeballs.
eyes too. The eyes too.
Yeah, the eyes.
Delicacy.
Now, some
Dip it
people
in
don't.
that sauce.
Some people don't realize, but if you catch really big fish, and especially like salmon, I call them the cheekbone or the cheek muscles, and you actually cut them out, and then right where the gill is, there's actually quite a muscle there that's very good to eat.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, bukute. Bukute.
Book 2K. Okay, Translating directly means meat bone tea.
Oh,
Oh,
Southeast Asian pork includes lots of pork, slow cooked
Yeah.
until extremely tender in a broth filled with herbs and soothing spices. Bukta tea is especially popular as a breakfast dish in Malaysia.
oh.
And that one on that lower left, you can see the bones in there,
Mhm.
but okay, so we've had enough food, lots and lots of food. Okay, so let's look at some souvenirs that you might want to buy when you go there. It says Malaysia, truly Asia, is where you're here en route to Malaysia. Indeed, there's practically every bit of Asia to be found there, as the country's population is made up primarily of the three groups we've talked about before. Quite expectantly, the diversity of Malaysian handcrafts is reflected. It says this information is to help you find your way through numerous offerings, tempting gift buyers. And I always think about this is you got to remember you got to be able to get the stuff home. So some of you have traveled internationally, you find out that that it gets expensive. And matter of fact, I can remember when we went to Australia, and there was when we were coming back from Australia, somebody says, "Well, how much is it for a second bag?" And it was like $200 just for the bag, for that extra bag or something like that. It was extremely expensive to do that. So you need to be careful about how many souvenirs you buy if you go there. Okay, and I'd like to know how many of you ladies can wear this.
Oof.
Oh, what
like to
once
wear it.
that is beautiful though, but
They are absolutely beautiful,
Embroidery.
aren't they? And Bonnie said, "Well, I might have been able to do it when I was about 12."
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I could
yeah,
have did it
that's true.
But
when I was in my older teens.
yeah, it says traditional Malay attire for women is a body hugging. It can be worn for parties or formal functions, especially made of high quality saget or batik fabrics.
Batik.
I like the colors. I really like the colors. And if
Yeah.
you look at the cost of it, and this is what they're going to talk about a little bit about why it's so good to go there, is because things are pretty inexpensive compared to America.
$34.
Yeah. And I look at the
Probably not
beads
now.
and the patterning and everything like that. I don't think I'm going to be buying one of those for Bonnie. I don't think she'll want one.
What, 2023? Yeah, the year
Yeah,
2023.
2023.
Oh,
Let
and
me
there's
see.
the
Oh, let me
pewter
see.
cup.
Maybe I have a chance.
Okay, maybe. Pewter goods. Malaysia is famous for its pewter.
Yeah.
You're
Oh, what
tempted
is
to buy
that?
a whole bunch of different types of like there. Says if your budget is limited, consider getting yourself a small pure vase. It costs around $34.
Yeah.
And to me, that's one of the more expensive items, would be the pewter hand woven items. And I think these
So
can
good.
just
Oh,
be
I like
beautiful.
that.
Yeah.
So you got something uniquely for Malaysian, they're hand woven crafts.
Good for
Bamboo
Christmas
and-
gifts.
Okay. And then I look at the cost there. It says there's a cute little purse. You can keep some in there. Some of them cost $2. And I just look at that and I think about the labor that's put into it.
Yeah.
So very, very beautiful hand woven crafts. Okay, and this one right here, it took me a little bit of time to figure this out. And it's Dudal, a local
Dudal,
toffee-like
yeah.
sweet. And if you look at it, it's some kind of a sweet there. Dudal is usually dark brown in color, but nowadays there are other colors and flavors. So there's some things you can get as souvenirs, things to bring home. I don't know, well, I know part of it at our conference that we just finished yesterday. Margaret was there, but chocolate was the big thing. It was a bartering thing. Matter of fact, Margaret brought a bunch of it, and she had a small sack that she put up for a raffle, and our first bid was $50. Of course, the money goes to we call it the Margaret Seabolt Scholarship. It's a scholarship that's used to help those that are attending conference. Okay, a sanguette.
Oh, and the linens. Oh,
So the different linens and so forth, very beautiful.
yeah.
And you can see the influence of, you know, the Chinese and, you know, the Malaysian and Indian and so forth like that. And it's just hard for me to believe that that's a short length of the cloths for $13. I know that in our antique in our antique mall, Keeper's Corner, and some of you are aware of that. It just hurts me when I see someone bring in an Afghan that you know has spent hours and hours and hours doing it, and they're selling it for $10.
Yeah.
And there's much more than $10 worth of material in there, let alone all the hours of work put into it. Okay, help me out here.
Wakumbu.
Borakambu. Dyed threads are usually used to make this kind of cotton fabric. Okay, based on, okay, it says it might seem like a normal piece of cloth, which is commonly used as a blanket, but for the Orang, Alasia, or Aborigine Iban tribe, there's something more. They're sacred and ceremonial cloth.
Yeah.
They use it for spiritual more than just practical. Translates to blanket or to wrap. And I just love the beautiful colors and so forth they have with it.
I always thought they told a story.
Oh, look at that.
Gosh.
Okay, type of silk or cotton fabric, usually made using the wax and dye method. Malaysians offer a large variety of colors and designs. And I just look at that and I think those flowers, those purple flowers are so beautiful in there. And it says, here is scarf, a 36 by 36 centimeters. So you don't have to convert that over there. Whereas your blouse would be about $12. They sure like their purples and greens and
Yeah.
different colors. Now these, and I actually saw when the princess at the time was wearing those, and she wore these quite a bit, and usually only one, and it's like a brooch,
Oh,
and they usually wear it on their hair scarf or head scarf, and a small, somebody can help me out on this one here.
Button.
A button. Okay, there you go. Is used to hold it together. Okay, $12. Okay, and then
oh, there's
the
Oh, Yonya beaded slippers. Oh,
Yeah.
Yonya.
yeah, well, how many of us can fit in those? And you look at the beadwork on those, and those are actually they almost look like rabbits, don't they?
yeah, they do.
I don't know what
Oh,
they
yeah.
exactly are.
Like bunnies.
They
I
look
think
like
they're
little
bunnies,
bunnies,
yeah.
little bunnies. Okay. Says tiny beads of flower, bird, butterflies, monos can be excellent reminders of visiting Malaysia. Cost about $27. Okay. And this says this is a gourd-shaped clay jar is usually black in color. Water this kept inside remains cool in spite of hot weather. The water from
Sayong.
is believed to have a curing properties, which might be good for one's health. Costs about $7. That looks like it's metal on that one there,
Yeah.
but maybe it has clay on the inside. I'm not quite sure if that's just the way that it's been
Just a gold.
glazed or something there.
Huh.
And then pearls, obviously the pearls there.
Sabah pearls.
Yeah.
Yeah. These natural pearls are usually cream, pink, bluish hues. They didn't put a price on that. I'm sure that would vary depending on
Yeah.
the item.
How big they are.
Yep, how big they are.
Yeah.
Okay, now this one right here, and I didn't realize this. I actually have one of these games in my house. And my grandkids play it, but they don't call it the same game. And it's called
Oh,
Dog Cat. Has
Dog.
anybody ever played this game?
no. Is it good? Is it
Yeah,
fun?
and you have holes, and then you have
My grandchildren play this.
yes, that's what I'm saying. My grandchildren play it. And it says 2 rows of 6 to 8, 10 holes and pits or houses and large pits, and played with pebbles, marbles, wood seeds. And they'll play on it. They'll sit over there on the floor when they're here. And I didn't even know I had it.
Huh.
So bamboo handcrafts, lots and lots of stuff you can do on that. And this is something I look at and I think about how difficult would be for me to get that home.
I know. Oh, pencil case.
Yeah, pencil case.
Small.
Yeah, that one I might be able to, you could probably put it in your bag and stuff something inside of it, you know, socks or something like that, so you wouldn't collapse it and get it on there.
Wonder how much is shipping?
I
A
have
lot.
no idea. That's the problem with it. It's a lot.
And
By
right
the
now
way,
it takes forever to get it.
Yeah, and by the way, if you're planning on going to Malaysia, you need to make sure that you've got things taken care of. That question was asked yesterday at our conference during this presentation, and I know you'll need a passport. I don't know if we're going to need a visa, and even when we went to Australia, and artists can attest to that you needed a visa, and that was done electronically. When Bonnie went to India, she actually had to send her passport to San Francisco, and they had to, and we honor submission for the visa to go to India, and they actually added, and I don't know how they did it, but they added pages into her visa there, so she had to have a physical one there. When I went into Australia, I actually had a hard time getting in because I got off the plane and went down, and where they go in, and they have a kind of a fast pass, and artists went through that. Well, mine didn't work. So I tried it a couple of times, it didn't work, and pretty soon a gal came and got me, and she took me to a counter, and I had to talk to them for about 10 or 15 minutes. And the guy kept looking at my passport and looking at me and passport. And he says, well, we need to have you go in there. They went in a room, and we were probably in there 20 minutes asking me all kinds of questions. Who I was, where I was going, where I'd been, why I was in coming to Australia, and the whole works. And obviously they finally let me in, but so you have to be just ready for that. Our TSA is really nice compared to some other countries. And I know my brother went into Israel one time, and it was much, much worse. And I'm not going to take your time on that, but anyway, some of you may have been through some things like that. It was during a very high session, you know, and it was really, really, they were on high alert. So
I think one of the other problems with coming in and out of other countries is the declaring of what you are bringing or
Taking in, yeah.
and bringing in, especially if those should be any type of food,
Yeah.
canned, fresh, anything, or even
Yeah.
seeds.
That's right. Exactly. You just have to be careful on those. Okay, I'll go on here a little bit. Okay. Durian, doodle,
Wow.
sweets or candies. Looks to me like Malaysia's king of fruits. Smell of fresh durians put you off. Perhaps you should try durian doodah sweets, cakes, or candies. Okay, this is an interesting one here.
Wow.
Cuckoo
Sagu.
sagu is a tradition of Malayan hairpin made of gold, silver, or other material. It's usually long and thin with decorative end. So any of you guys need a hairpin? It says the latter might feature some mythical creature or any other form of traditional Malay art, such a hairpin was previously used for securing a Malay woman's bun, but was held at the back of her head during a traditional wedding ceremony. Okay, and this is kind of fun. I actually went and did a little more research on this. I didn't put it in here because of the length of it, but it's a traditional Malaysian kite. And they do an awful lot of it, and they're very, very beautiful. And if you look there, you can see the beauty of it. Flying competitions.
Shape of it.
What's that?
The shape of it is so different from what we expect to be a kite.
Right. In the last couple of years, there's a lake up where very close to us, about 20 miles away, that they have a kite festival every year in February. And the lake is frozen solid, and it's a fairly large lake. And they have a massive kite festival up there. And there are kites of every kind. And the real advantage is the wind is just perfect, and there's no trees out on the lake. And yes, it's frozen. So, okay, 28 reasons to visit Malaysia. Malaysia has so much to offer: amazing cuisine, stunning national parks, and pictures and beaches, well-known aquatic life, rich history, and a vibrant culture. The country should be the top priority to your next global trotting adventures. I don't think too many of us are there. The different ones. I'm going to show you some beautiful pictures. And I actually pulled this off an article, and it was by Carly Williams, which was published back in 2018.
Back when we could travel.
Yeah. People in Malaysia are called some of the friendliest. And I've actually talked to some people that have been in the Southeast. And I know I've talked to people that have gone to Vietnam, and all of us remember Vietnam and some of the bad things that were in the, back in 74 and so forth, and the early 70s. And Vietnam, I guess, is a wonderful place to visit. Very, very friendly people, and I'm sure Malaysia is the same.
Yeah.
It says you should never feel unsafe or threatened traveling in Malaysia, as all the locals are constantly waving hello. They're always willing to give suggestions, lend a helping hand, or simply flash a friendly smile. Even a language barrier, they are very warm individuals. And that's what I've found in the few times that I've traveled, is most people around the world are pretty friendly. So there's one of your outdoor courts. To me, obviously, the woman on the left is probably a native to Malaysia, and the one on the right is probably a what?
Tourist.
She's a tourist.
Got a backpack.
Yeah, she's got her backpack, and she's looking to probably get some food or something to eat. Variety of cuisine. Malaysia offers some of the best food selection, and we talk about many of those. There's one right there, and I don't know what that is. I think it's probably, you guys think it's probably chicken? Might be chicken and lots of spices and so forth. Maybe some noodles. Lack of crowds. Says, since Malaysia is not as popular as more mainstream destinations such as Thailand and Bali, which consists of is congested with tourists, you'll find there generally fewer crowds. Even the capital is not quite as crowded. It's a great city if you're thinking of traveling into Asia. There's one of their beaches. Anybody want to go for a swing? Unique landscapes. Wonderful landscapes of Malaysia. Says there are times you feel like you're in the middle of a rainforest surrounded by rolling hills, or absolutely stunned by the amazing white sand beaches surrounded by lush greenery. And despite what a lot of people think, the country is extremely generally extremely mountainous, with many people's expectations being that it's quite flat. This makes for amazing drives through the country. I've also been told that transportation is fairly easy. They have a lot of buses and different things that you can get to get around there. There's some beautiful, when I see something like that, green, like that, that's something like Hawaii, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like Southern Oregon, I'll guarantee you that. We're lucky if there's any, even the weeds grow anymore. We did finally get a little bit of moisture the last few weeks.
Scott, is
Yes.
this south, am I correct? It's south of the equator?
Yeah, I'm sure it's south of the equator.
Okay, so does it have the humidity like Florida or?
I'm sure that it does.
Okay,
I'm
'cause
sure you're going to see a hot,
it's-
humid climate.
Okay,
When you see a scenery like this, that it's going to be hot and humid.
yeah, was my thought.
Yep. By the way, when you go for the conference is all held in one area, and like I said, the cost of it is and you'll be inside, and I'm sure they'll have the air conditioners and everything going like that. When we were in Australia, it was pretty hot, but it was actually very, very comfortable inside. The conference is also pretty formal, and we spent some time talking about that and how the voting system goes and so forth. Very interesting on how that's all done. Says it's quite easy to get around Malaysia, even if you find yourself a little directionally challenged. The bus system is very organized, and it's easy to take a bus at a moment's notice if you decide to go somewhere new. The road infrastructure is also great compared to other countries in the area. There are also little scooters, motorcycle rentals, pretty much everywhere you go. And so Kay, here's a place you can go. There's Kay on her motorbike.
Hey, who can't ride a regular bicycle?
Okay.
Give me a horse.
Insanely nice beaches.
Oh, there we go.
You know, what a beautiful place there. And if you look carefully on that one palm tree, what do you see?
Oh, coconuts.
Yeah.
Somebody's sitting on it. Somebody's sitting
Yeah,
on
well, there's somebody sitting there, yeah.
Yeah, about halfway up. I missed that the first couple of times I looked at that picture. Stunning national parks, and they have several national parks.
Wow.
The greenery in the country is unique and vibrant. Stunning mossy forest and vegetation. It says mossy, so you know what that means. Lots of
Yeah.
moisture, lots of heat.
Humid heat, yeah.
Yep,
That's what I wanted to say, okay.
yep. And
You're not allowed-
nearly
Oh, Borneo is, oh,
Oh, I'm in my Zoom. Oh, Daddy.
yeah,
You want to go Malaysia?
100 parks,
oh, we were-
reserves. Now there's a beautiful
there it is.
picture.
yeah.
Oh yeah, take my bag.
So who knows what those are? I couldn't figure out what those are. Those, obviously there's some trees or bushes, and I don't know if those are rock formations or what.
Huh. They almost look like volcanic spears, but
Yeah, I agree.
their lines on them is, I can't see it that well to,
Yeah.
I'd have to taste it.
All right. Proximity to other countries, and we talked about that earlier, but you're really close to Thailand or Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos. You're actually on the border of Thailand, you know, so. There's just some transportation. I would really, to me, I'd really enjoy doing that, and especially going out through the rocks there. And I love their sand too. Their sand is just pure white beaches. And by the way, since I'm a fisherman, see, I noticed the back of the boat, they use special propellers, and those motors, you can actually get those, and those are for shallow water
Fishing.
propel. Yeah, well, the fish, the motor, it goes straight out. The prop is on the end of the motor. So they can put it in extremely shallow water without hitting the rocks and sand and so forth.
We have friends that have been there, and she described the sand as being like flour. It's so fine and so beautiful. And she said she's not a beachy kind of person. And I guess she walked for hours on the beach because she said it felt so good on her feet because it was more like flour than it was what we think of as our sand.
Yep. I'm sure the water's a little warmer than it is in Oregon too.
Yes, a lot.
For those of you that aren't from Oregon, you go to the coast and the water and the shore looks so beautiful. And I've had people that don't live in Oregon, they come here and they get on their swimsuit and they're going to go swimming out there. They don't stay out there very long before they're coming back, and they're just turned blue from the cold water. So
58 degrees average.
yeah, Oregon has beautiful coast, beautiful water, but it's cold. Okay, scuba diving. And does anybody in here a scuba diver besides me?
Kind of.
Have you done any snorkeling, and you can do some snorkeling or so forth? So you can see it. And I know I've done this in Hawaii, and the same kind of thing, a beautiful fish. You can see sharks and turtles and fish. I remember when we went to Hawaii, and you go there and you actually get the little bag of food and you feed the fish. They come right up to you.
You put this food on your stomach and they'll eat it off your stomach.
Yeah. They know what it's all about.
Yeah.
Affordable prices. Says being a country in Southeast Asia obviously means you aren't going to break the bank. Your travels, despite travel from one place to another, the other being a little pricey, buses, flights, etc. You'll find the prices are insanely cheap to eat, drink, and sleep. Grab a meal for a few bucks, cold beverage for $1 or $2, and a place to stay for less than $10. Now, I'm going to guarantee you're probably not going to find a luxury hotel for $10 a night, but you can find a nice place to stay. Okay, so here's the capital, Kuala Lumpur. It's one of the favorites. It's like other major cities. It's also rich in amazing architecture, good food, a ton of shopping outlets, and beautiful parks and outdoor spaces. And then it has the towers that you can see, and we'll see a picture of those in just a minute. So there's the city. Sometimes even big cities can be really beautiful. I know that when I was in Melbourne, I spent a couple of days before the conference by myself, so I'd go for a walk, and I couldn't believe how clean Melbourne was. It was just spotless almost. And this looks like it's a pretty clean city. Some of us have been in cities that are not quite so clean. Variety of accommodations from city view hotels with rooftop, infinite pools, beachside bungalows, straw huts in the middle of the mountain ranges, and tent campsites on the beach. Accommodations and options in Malaysia are out of the world. Ton of options. You can get a dorm room for less than $10 a night, a nice private room for $20 to $30 a night, and a luxury hotel for less than $100 a night. Now, if you go to the conference, those you like I said, that you stay in this, and Bonnie, if she was here, she could tell you the name of it, but it's a very, very nice hotel, all inclusive on the price. There's your place you could also stay. How many of you could stay in that for the night? Vast wildlife, lots and lots of wildlife through Malaysia. You might have a close in person with orangutans, lizards, monkeys, wild deer. Says the orangutan reserve is one you must see when you visit.
There they are. A baby.
Yeah. Shopping, and we've talked about shopping. Find authentic and homemade clothing items, all kinds of artifacts. We went through those quite a bit, but the vibrant shopping.
Oh, look at the colors.
Yeah, look at the wonderful colors. Obviously, probably again, another tourist. The history, and we talked a lot about the history and how it just changed from time to time and how different countries overtook them. It has a bunch of wonderful different sites, abundance architecture, temples and churches. It says you're really keen to learn about the history of the country. Kuala Lumpur is a place to do that, which is home to the Independence Square, which is the flag of Malaysia, where the flag of Malaysia was first raised. However, everywhere you go in Malaysia, you'll find the opportunity to learn the history of the area if you take time to ask and explore. Again, what kind of an influence do you think that is from?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Wow.
I would think probably Chinese.
Yeah.
Have some Chinese influence on that. Okay, now this is the popping art scene. And I think this is a beautiful one here. So you're going to see all kinds of different art. Lots and lots of street graffiti, but it's different. It's different than what we get. At least here in Oregon, I know that I've seen others there. It says you can spend a day exploring the streets of Georgetown, discovering all of the art has to offer, kind of art museums. So if you really like the art, and here's one that I thought was really unique. And if you look at that,
Oh,
Cute, Dad.
so the two boys are Art,
and art, yeah.
and the girl is
Real.
Real. There's probably a little a little chair or
Yeah, on the bike.
shelf there that she can
Sit on.
that she's sitting on.
Yeah.
That's a very unique one there. If you look when I've noticed, you see an awful lot of oldness, so of where the door is over to the left and so forth. Probably very old sitting. The culture, similar to the variety of food, Malaysia is known for Asia's greatest culture mashups. When it comes to rich culture with influence in people from Malaysia itself, as well as China, India, it's a melting pot. Each culture exists harmoniously and celebrates their own ethnic traditions and beliefs. Beautiful one there. I assume that's probably Hindu or Buddhism. And then if you look to the back, look at the stairs that go up there.
To the temple.
I don't know about you, but I'd be a little tired by the time I got there. I'm not quite as young as I used to be. Exciting nightlife. It says you're keen on hitting the town. Kuala Lumpur nightlife provides a vibrant and lively atmosphere. Countless bars, pubs, rooftop patios, from laid-back cocktails to more stunning nightclubs. There's a ton of variety depending on what you're looking for. And I'm sure lots of you are going to be looking for something like what we're coming up right here. Find that hot spot. Okay, there's a beautiful picture of the city and the towers. Cultural festivals. Okay, Malaysia is a country of celebration. There's so many festivals happening all year round. You're bound to be in the country for at least one of them. Chinese New Year held in February. It's the largest Chinese festival in Malaysia with vibrant costumes, decorations, exciting parades.
The lantern.
Another popular is rainforest.
Pungi Fachoy.
Yeah, is the Rainforest World Festival. And there you go. Now that, to me, that's a very interesting picture.
Sure.
I don't see Artist Snyder in there anywhere. Are you in there, Artist?
No, not in that one. You
Not in
didn't,
that one.
you know, you
Okay,
didn't put me, you didn't took the right picture in.
okay. Well, I'm actually right here. This is me right here.
Okay.
And you like my little, I don't know
Yeah.
if you'd call that a
Love that.
skirt or.
Love it.
Say, what do you call that?
Okay. Anyway, and I see the rest of you out there. Okay, the stunning mosque.
No, that's
Oh, unfortunately, they're overlooked by a lot of the tourists, but they're very, very beautiful. And we're going to show you one that is extremely beautiful. In most cases, tourists are welcome to explore the buildings and prayer rooms with the proper attire. So that means you may have to dress differently when you go there. It's fascinating to witness the mix of people attending the daily call to prayer, ranging from those in traditional garments to the latest modern fashion threads. While you're visiting, make sure to take time to visit one of the traditional spaces and pay your respect. And I just look at a picture like that and I just think it's just stunning.
holy cow. The color of it.
Scott, I have to leave, but it
Okay.
was a very good program. I'll catch you on that
Okay.
later.
All right, and I will tell you that if anybody wants this PowerPoint, I can make it available for them. There is a leader's guide for it, and there's also, I will put this on YouTube eventually.
Okay, did you come up with recipes?
No, I didn't come up with any recipes.
Ah,
I spent a lot of hours putting this together as it was. A lot of time. Okay, so who's ready to go to Malaysia? We're just about done anyway, Faye, so.
okay.
All
I'll
right,
catch
anyway.
you later.
Could be the greatest experience of your lifetime. Lots of fun to lots of fun to do and experience. Lots of new things to learn. Make lifetime friends, and that's something I've learned when you go. If you go to state conferences, national conferences, if you go to a world conference, you're going to meet long lifetime friends. And Bonnie and I've got one. She lives in Australia, and we're friends with her, and I'm friends with her on Facebook, and I get to share my life with her. So it says, make your plans to attend the Associated Country Women of the World, or ACWW World Triennial held in Malaysia during 2023. And you'll be able to get the information if you go to their website, which is www.acww.org.uk. And I got a little video here, a short video, and it's pretty nice. Takes a minute for it to come up.
Not right now, Lloyd. Can you wait? This is the camera. Over.
Hi.
Well, hi, how did you like the meeting?
It's fine, yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Hey, any other questions or comments?
Oh, it's fun.
Oh, okay. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
No, we just finished with that. Did you see the pictures of Malaysia?
Yeah, at the very end, the video part
Yeah,
of it.
you
Uh-huh.
did. Uh-huh. Okay, I'm gonna turn this thing off.
Okay.
I just wanted to make one comment.
Oh, gee.
It's become a country that's very
Okay.
inclusive on a lot of cruises. The
Anyway, when you
Holland
called me,
America trip that I was
started
scheduled
and it
to
was
take
being
before.
on this website for the video
Yeah.
and stuff.
Well, I thought there would be something new coming on the mail, but there wasn't. So I had to look through the old one.
I don't
and
think she
there was
realizes that she's on. Okay.
Okay.
Both Holland America and I forget which one that my friends were on. Both were inclusive to go there, and what they were encouraging people to do. Mine, that wasn't the end. Mine ended in Australia, but you could take the cruise, and they were very, very reasonably priced. And mine was 30 days because it went all the way to Australia. Theirs was 21, and they spent an extra week there and then flew home. And their comment was there was so much to see and do that in the extra week really didn't cover everything that they would like to have done. But it was very, very reasonable. As they put it, cheaper than going to the beach in Oregon. So it's a country to see a lot, and now this was just before the pandemic that they were there. In fact, they got home just barely made it back in time. So it's very much worth the effort to go.
All right. Well, thank you for your comments. Okay. Anybody else got any comments before we close?
I would like to have the PowerPoints when I get the lesson so that I have it for the ones that I will give the lessons out to. I think the PowerPoints are the pictures.
Yeah. Well, there's pictures on the leader's guide, but they're black and white, and they will definitely not be the same as, they're exactly the same pictures, but be in black and white.
You can't do color. You can't do them in color.
I'm not going to print them in color, not in the leader's guide.
Or you can't put it on the internet where they can get it off at OSU for me.
Yes, I can put them on there, but they still won't be color. They'll be black and white.
Oh, shoot.
It's way too expensive to print that many pages. But the PowerPoint will be available. Okay, anything else? I appreciate everybody. By the way, next month I have a lady in Florida that's going to do one on, I'm going to have to ask Bonnie on this one here. I don't know if it's pollinators. Product from the hive is what it is. Product on the hive. She is not an FCE member, but she is a member of their organization there in Florida. And Bonnie watched her presentation when she's in Illinois, and it's a very, very wonderful, wonderful presentation. So we'll have that one there in November. And as a matter of fact, I'll have to check the date on it. I don't have that on there. If you know of anyone who would like to give a presentation or anything like that, please let me know. I know that National's got some lessons, and they may have somebody that may want to show one of theirs for December. So anyway, there's no other questions. I'm going to close the meeting.
Scott,
yes, ma'am.
what was the name of the program that you're going to be having? Product what?
Product of the hive. Is it
Product from the hive.
from the hive?
Product from the hive. Okay.
Okay. And it'll be the first Wednesday in November.
Okay. That is the 3rd.
Okay. This November the 3rd then.
Thank you,
All right.
Scott.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye, Scott.
Bye. Thank you
I
very much.
enjoyed it.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Scott,
Yeah.
you still there? This is Linda.
Yes, ma'am.
I need to text, I'm going to email you some questions about the Hearth fryer, if you don't mind.
Which hearth fire are you talking about?
The one that I'm working on. I just want to know what category, what's a category, and is there such a thing as a leader's guide?
Okay, that's probably something you ought to address with artists.
Okay, artist,
Okay.
I'll be texting you that.
Okay, all right, because
Thank you.
I'm not familiar what, but Linda, if there's anything I can help you with on it, just let me know.
Well, the other thing is you have one on Who Am I, or
Right.
can I use parts of that?
You most certainly can. I could
Okay.
even, the recording is on there, but I do have a leader's guide already done on that, and I could send that to you electronically. And I also
Perfect.
have a PowerPoint for you.
Is it in the program itself? Because I downloaded it, and printed it out. Is everything in there? Like the leader's guide?
What did you download? The video?
No, it's not a video. It's all about me.
Right. Okay.
I downloaded the printout.
Oh, yeah. You got that off the Oregon website?
Right.
Oh, okay. And but I do have a PowerPoint, and if you need that, let me know and I can get that to you. They stand independent themselves either way. But
Okay.
you're welcome to use
I just
anything out of
needed
that you
permission.
need.
Thank you.
You got
And
it.
artist, I will contact you, artists.
Okay,
All right.
thanks,
Thank you.
Linda.
Bye.
Thank
Bye,
you, Scott.
Lorena. All right. Goodbye.
Bye.